Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. This week I've been training, actually for the past 2 weeks I've been training a gentleman. His name is Gary. Gary's a nice guy. I like Gary. He and I were making a delivery, and when you're making these deliveries, when you're training someone, you spend the whole day in a very small area. You're stuck in a truck, and then you get out and you work, but then you get back in the truck. So you're pretty much forced to communicate with each other. And you learn about people when you do that. And I learned that Gary's a very nice guy. We delivered to a grumpy individual. Have you ever met a person and just immediately knew that they were going to be someone difficult to deal with? Gary goes into the receiving shack, and the guy says, "Yeah, we're on lunch for another 12 minutes," in a very gruff way. And Gary comes out and says, "This guy's going to be a bit of a grump." And, I always try and take people on a person to person basis. So I try not to let someone else's opinion affect mine about someone. We get to where we need to be to unload this particular, I think it was 4 pallets of product. Backed up to the dock, and we'll call Mr. Grump, because he pulls up, and this dock was unbelievably old. He reaches over there with his forklift and picks up the dock plate. I realize what he's doing, and it's Gary hasn't backed up quite perfectly straight, and he looks over at me and says, "He ain't backed up right. He needs to move the trailer." So I get him to move the trailer and slide it over about an inch and a half. This dock plate does not have a lot of room for error. He gets it moved over, and Mr. Grumpy, he says, "That'll work." He gets up there and he picks up the dock plate, and there's a piece of 4x4 stuck up under the dock plate. And I say, "I'll grab it." And I reach over because I realize how this works now, this incredibly modern piece of equipment, snark. And I reach up there and I grab this 4x4 and I pull it out and set it down. And he looks at me and he says, in his jovial way, "Thanks, appreciate it." So I still haven't made up my mind about this guy, because maybe he just talks like this. I don't know. So while people are unloading and doing things, you have these moments, these little like seconds to talk to them when they're doing that. And he comes onto the trailer, and I'm in the trailer and I'm moving our pallet jack around. We can't move these 4 pallets. They're too heavy with our pallet jack. And he comes in, and I say, "Hope you're having a good day." He says, "Hmm." So he gets the pallet, and he leaves, and here comes another guy on another forklift right behind him. They're going to make this a very quick unload, which at this point I'm kind of appreciative of. And he comes in and he gets it. He says, "Good morning." I say, "Good morning. How you doing?" And it's just a complete contrasting personalities, And we have a really quick conversation, because he's got the other pallet off and he's waiting to come back up, and he comes back up and he picks up his pallet, and I say something along the lines, "We're sneaking up on the weekend." I've got a set bunch of phrases that I kind of use with new people, and that's one of them. We're sneaking up on the weekend, and and instead of looking at it as something to look forward to, he says, "Can't get here soon enough." Well, I'm trying not to laugh, because really this kind of attitude is very comical to me, because I'm a happy guy. I'm content. I really do enjoy life. He gets his pallet and he backs out, and here comes Mr. Jovial. Mr. Jovial comes up on the trailer, and without me prompting him at all, he says, "Man, it's going to be a great weekend. I can't wait to get to it." So I'm kind of losing my mind on this trailer. Gary's kind of standing outside watching us unload the trailer. This is just a complete. I'm sure that these two don't talk a lot during the day. Anyway, he gets that 3rd pallet off, and I realize this is going to be his last pallet. And I say, I hope you have a fantastic weekend." He said, "Oh, same to you, dude." And he's gone, and Gary comes up and he gets the last one, and I say, "I'll help you with that dock plate. That way you don't have to get off the forklift." And he says, "I appreciate it." Never cracked a smile. Never really did any congeniality at all. And I get off the dock and we get the door closed and everything's done and we get ready to head out. And Gary and I are talking about the whole interaction. Gary says, it must be hard to go through life with that attitude. And you know what? He's right. It must be very difficult to go through life with that kind of attitude. So, this is my message to everybody who encounters Mr. Grumpy. Give him your best. Give him the absolute kindest words you can and try and make him smile as much as you can. Because if you can get someone like that to smile, that's a hard-won smile. That one you can take home and you can look back on the day and say, I made Mr. Grumpy smile. There's more to the story. I kind of shortened it up a little bit, and it's an abbreviated story. Obviously, it takes a bit longer than these few minutes to unload a trailer. But if you do run into a grumpy person, we don't know what's going on in their lives. We don't know if they're just having a bad morning or if they've been mistreated their whole life. But give your best to Mr. and Mrs. Grumpy. Try and make them smile. Because when you get them to smile, it does so much good for your own heart. It really does. I found a lot of humor in the situation, and looking back on it now, I still see the humor. And I hope that you can find some humor in it. And when you're dealing with these people, remember, don't let them brush off on you. Don't let them affect your attitude. Try and be a good influence on theirs. Try and be a good influence on everybody's attitude today. Go out and have a great day. I'm going to go to work. And if I encounter Mr. Grumpy again, I'm going to try and get him to smile. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Kind of not sure what this next week holds. I'll have some news for you. We'll find out. I hope that you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, Lahi Throat.